Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья.
Hello, dear friends,
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья. Мы говорим с каббалистом Михаилом Лайтманом.
and welcome to our show with the Kabbalist, Dr. Michael Laitman. Dr. Laitman, hello. Simeon, not long ago, as psychologists say, and this is something that we know, a person was appreciated according to what he wears, according to his education, how much money does he have, how is he dressed, is he a professor or not. You know, you have to give a person a title and then you start listening. So they're asking, how in the new world, the post-coronavirus world, how will people be evaluated, appreciated, according to what? Dr. Laitman, I don't know. I think that it's going to be a completely different world, a really post-virus, coronavirus world, where people will be evaluated and appreciated according to what they put in to consolidate the public, to bring people together. Simeon, it's not about a title anymore. Dr. Laitman, nah, not at all. Maybe we will give a different ordinance or we'll call people by special names, give them special titles or something. Simeon, but still there has to be some kind of reward, Dr. Laitman. Yes, we have to respect people, evaluate, appreciate them, cherish them, and to the contrary, if they're going the other way. Of course, reward and punishment has to be up to the full correction, including any reward or punishment can really be effective and necessary. Simeon, so it's not some kind of monetary reward because money won't be really appreciated, so it seems. Dr. Laitman, no, I think that we're coming to a state where our generation, the new generation, no longer appreciates people according to how much money they have. It can't buy them. What interests them is maybe a good computer, I don't know, a good mobile, something really cool, but, not something gold with diamonds. All that it's already disgusting. That belongs to the past. But something special. Simeon, and a person, in order for him to be able to function, Dr. Laitman, a person has to be a specialist, and the most important thing for people, Simeon, will people understand what that is? Dr. Laitman, I think that this is where we're headed. Simeon, up until now, the most important thing for us was money, a person's status, and now what? Dr. Laitman, I think that things are going to seriously turn upside down. I think the new generation, the younger generation, don't appreciate money as we did. And, all the stars, titles. Dr. Simeon, what about Armani, the things, brands? Dr. Laitman, you see what they wear. Sneakers, something. Simeon, Dr. Laitman, I think that people, as a result of the coronavirus, will change. They'll learn how to see through material goods. And it doesn't matter what a person wears, what kind of watch does he have, and so on. They won't look at him even being some big professor or something, but what they will look at is, what's the use? What are we getting out of this person as a person? What can he give society in terms of what society needs? Simeon, so you're talking about society. There will be this concept, understanding of what is he giving society. Dr. Laitman, what else do I need? Simeon, something personal for myself? Dr. Laitman, no, it'll be clear that unless society will be able to benefit from that person in some way, how can I benefit from them? Simeon, and how can he benefit society? Dr. Laitman, a person benefits society by explaining to society how can we further advance in connection. Simeon, we can't move you from that. Dr. Laitman, and then really it'll become clear what's the use? What kind of use does that person bring? Simeon, and people will appreciate this value of connection. Dr. Laitman, people will see that otherwise we won't be able to make it. We won't be able to survive. We simply won't be able to make it. This has to become clear. And a person that demonstrates that to society will be necessary to society. And accordingly, society will appreciate him. Simeon, so there will be medals, there will be different awards. Dr. Laitman, people will want that, and really, in some way, there will be need to develop this. Simeon, so the ego demands this. Dr. Laitman, you have to give it even if people don't want it. Because still, not everything in this world can be based on ideals. There are different people, they ascend, and those people that in them there's this real quality that they can bring the public closer together. Such people should be noticed, so that the others will be able to listen to them. Simeon, will others envy them? Dr. Laitman, of course. Envy is a very good thing. Simeon, but, not something bad, how to bring that person down. Dr. Laitman, of course not. It's about good things, about bringing people closer together, that they want to learn how to do this. Simeon, so you have an optimistic view of the future, that these will be the values. Dr. Laitman, I think that we will endure serious problems, illnesses, death. There will be many problems. However, I think that humanity will very quickly adapt. Now I have this kind of hope, even though that they're all, like zombies because of the media and everything, but still. Simeon, they won't want to go back. Dr. Laitman, the process began. There is no way back. People are starting to understand that, and things are going to be grim if we'll try to forcefully go back to how things were. Meaning people are ready. Do as you please with us. So this is something that we have to explain, that there's no way out. So let's do this together. Or at least don't stand in the way. Simeon, and we have to show those people that are working toward connection with others, to talk about them, only about those that want to work and bestow. Dr. Laitman, humanity, or in society, there will be no other signs that differentiate people but that. Simeon, meaning, to what measure do I exist to the benefit of society? Dr. Laitman, everyone, even against their own will point at those people that work on uniting the public, developing society, bring people, more and more people closer to connection. And this how we'll advance. Simeon, and even if they don't have these kinds of thoughts like we're going toward connection with nature that is harmonious, Dr. Laitman, it doesn't matter. People will understand things very quickly. For some reason, today it seems the coronavirus, what it did in the past 3, 4, 5 months, it kind of correctly incubated people, directed them, that things could be one way or another, meaning it's leading people. And I think that humanity will take a path of good, not one of destruction. Simeon, and the people that will be appreciated are those that will want to bestow. Dr. Laitman, yes, people that want to unite others, to bestow, that lead others toward that, push them to it, and as a result, we will quickly find ourselves in a good world. Simeon, only toward unity and connection. Dr. Laitman, only the upper force of nature, the creator, has to have under it a complete bed and reveal itself there. A complete bed is that foundation of the common society. Dr. Laitman, common soul. Simeon, okay. Psychologists are asking. Previously, leaders were chosen according to how much they promise. Of course, they're lying. According to how charismatic they are, manly, and then how do they lead the government, take care of unemployment, incomes, this, that. So they're asking, in the post-coronavirus era, they're asking, will we mature in regard to how we see our future leaders? What do you think? The leaders of the future, what are they going to be like, and will we become mature enough to see? Dr. Laitman, the leader of the future is a person that understands how to bring people together, how to connect them, and that's it. Simeon, that's it. Dr. Laitman, there is nothing else. Sure, here we need to put in a small remark. It's not like Mao or Lenin or Trotsky or someone that, got on stage and inspired others. They knew how to inspire. But the thing is that they don't put in front of themselves a goal to defeat someone else, but to unite everyone, including everyone. Simeon, so I'm not against someone, but in favor of everyone uniting, coming together. Dr. Laitman, the thing is that we're always with someone against someone. But here, it's impossible. All of us together are against our essence, our nature. And therefore, as a result, what we'll get is that leaders have to be different. Simeon, our nature, meaning our ego. Dr. Laitman, of course, our beloved ego. Simeon, so a leader is someone who understands what is this monster living inside a person, and only that if we, Dr. Laitman, the leader has to understand the entire nature of the world and how can we cope with it? Or how can we not cope with it? Simeon, well, this is serious. This is a lot for a leader. Dr. Laitman, how can he be a leader if he doesn't understand what is engaged in? Simeon, so this is the next degree. Dr. Laitman, of course. Where a person completely understands nature, its altruism, its final goal in this regard, and understands that man has to come to that to achieve in the connection. People have to become like nature in their connection, what we call to adhere to nature, and what forces are there in nature, laws, and has to be aided in that. Simeon, you're talking about a person's own nature and nature as a whole. Dr. Laitman, yes, my own nature is egoistic and nature as a whole is altruistic, and therefore in my connection with others, I have to transition myself from egoism to altruism, and when we all do that together, we will become like nature as a whole, like the altruistic nature in general. Simeon, and a leader has to lead to that degree. Dr. Laitman, yeah, and there are no problems here. Of course, realization itself isn't simple, it's gradual, but still, to understand these few simple conditions, rules, there's something that anyone can do. Simeon, so you're not talking about leaders, politicians. Dr. Laitman, no, politics are over. Because politics is a place where there are lies, and this is something that came to an end in the beginning of the coronavirus. Now all politicians, they're simply standing in front of everyone, in front of mankind, and you see how they're, that they have no idea what to do. What they're saying, what they're advising, the decisions that they make, it's like a little child that's in diapers. Simeon, yeah, no one believes them. Dr. Laitman, of course. And no one even listens, hears them. They finished their role, that's it. I don't know if there's going to be some kind of fight for being some kind of leadership of one kind or another. It's all conditional. Who's going to be chosen? Who can go there? People will feel ashamed of yelling that I can. You can what? Show what you did. Or what are you going to do when you will become... Suppose we choose you, we elect you. What's your plan? Simeon, and the plan has to be specifically that, Dr. Laitman. Of course, Simeon, you're talking about an exalted plan, Dr. Laitman. It won't be realized otherwise. It's not that it's exalted or anything. It's something that nature demands of us, and it's going to happen for sure. You will see that within several months, the world will start heading toward that. Simeon, so what will a leader have to offer the world? Dr. Laitman, the method of connection of all of humanity. Simeon, doesn't matter that I choose him in a specific country. Dr. Laitman, doesn't matter. He has to aspire for that, to understand that that's the future. And until we achieve that, things are going to be grim for him, for his country, for the people, and therefore this is the goal that he has to achieve and set the concrete steps in order to realize that goal for his nation, country, and so on. Simeon, and when I think about uniting my people, I think about uniting the entire world. Dr. Laitman, otherwise it won't work. It's not a plan otherwise. Simeon, so that's like turning everyone's way of thinking upside down, like in the UN. Everyone's defending their own. Dr. Laitman, it's like a marketplace. Things came to an end a long time ago there. Simeon, so I'm a leader of a country and I'm thinking about the entire world and only then about my country, something like that. Dr. Laitman, Simeon, come on. What is there to ask about? You know. Simeon, I'll leave that. Okay, I think we have it.
Все будет хорошо.
Dr. Laitman, everything's going to be great. Simeon, you repeat that. Let's hope so. Dr. Laitman, what? Are things bad as is? Every day I'm happy when I hear the news. Simeon, well, people are waiting for a second wave of the virus. Dr. Laitman, I don't think that it will start and end from here to there. It's coming and different waves. But we're living in good times, Simeon. Really. Dr. Laitman, wait, that's not it yet. Shops are still open. You have, storages with supplies. Simeon, you're talking about hunger. Dr. Laitman, sure, who knows how are things going to be? And that people are walking around, the beaches are full, parks are full. Simeon, we're having a show now called Cup TV. So people from all around the world talk, tell about how people are, going on a walk in the evenings, how pleasant everything is in Kiev and other places. In the meantime, humanity isn't crying out. Dr. Laitman, people have to adapt to what's going on. Simeon, so it's a soft transition. Dr. Laitman, yeah, it's good. It's happening subconsciously on the level of this ambience. But really, everything's fine. And somewhere inside, there's a different kind of thinking already, different kind of program that's starting to work in us. Simeon, okay?
Еще дальше, да, Раф, немножко.
Ну-ну.
Я все время... У меня с вами всего 45 минут, так поэтому мне надо...
We have only 45 minutes, so... Dr. Laitman, don't worry. Simeon, no, it's all in. They're preparing for themselves. They're preparing. I want to ask, due to the pandemic, millions of children around the world will have to start working. First of all, the family income has decreased, and so children's labor will be used. Dr. Laitman, what do you mean? Where will they work? Simeon, but schools are closed. Children start working. 73 million children are engaged in hazardous kinds of work. 1/5 of the children in Africa work. Dr. Laitman, it depends on how you look at this and what do you mean by childhood or children? Simeon, what? Children are forced to work. Dr. Laitman, again, depends what kind of work. Depends what kind of work do they have to do. There's nothing bad about it. If 2 hours a day they have to, I don't know, pick grapes or something, so what's the problem? Why not? To the contrary, it'll only build them. Simeon, you think that what you just said is also a part of that statistic? You know, to work a bit in a pizzeria, pick grapes, this, that. Dr. Laitman, I'd send them to serve. It's maybe it's not the right word, but to help the elderly. Simeon, and that connection would work well. Dr. Laitman, of course. Simeon, and it would influence children for the better. Dr. Laitman, and the elderly too. Simeon, what happens to a person when that happens? Dr. Laitman, in the elderly people, it awakens a certain softness, and in children, it awakens a corresponding engagement with the elderly, and this kind of mutual relationship is very beneficial. Simeon, but here we're talking about children having to work in order to bring money home. Dr. Laitman, so they'll be paid for it. They'll be paid for it. It's simply that you have to close unnecessary businesses. They have to be closed, that the government leaves open in order to, keep around those that vote for them. And really everything that's unnecessary, to close it. Simeon, and children can work. Dr. Laitman, of course, if it's necessary, why not? Simeon, but to take care of the elderly, that's necessary. Dr. Laitman, yeah. It means a lot, really. Even if a child will simply go to bring a book to some elderly person, or go and get milk and bread along with that book, and will bring that to that elderly person, it will be serious work for a child. He'll understand that this is how you have to serve, this is what you have to do. Simeon, what will children understand from that I'm making a living now? Dr. Laitman, no, that I'm doing beneficial work for society. It's not that I'm earning what I earn. It's not money that I'm earning, but I earn grades or medals or awards. Simeon, so if a child works in this kind of work and helping others, Dr. Laitman, he has to do it because he's a member of society, and this is written down in his book. Dr. Laitman, no, for both, doesn't matter for whom, for the elderly, for that child, but it's considered that child's benefit to society.
Это просто не по добру, по здорову, не от хорошей жизни, а потому что так надо.
It's not because, life will be good or anything, but because this is what he has to do. This is why he will do it, because society demands this of him. Simeon, and this will raise the child? Dr. Laitman, of course, being a part of society, he owes society, and society rewards him in return. Simeon, so something goes to his family. Dr. Laitman, that he's earning something that is written down in the general network, that goes to his child, but don't give a child money. Dr. Laitman, you might corrupt them in that way if you give him money. Simeon, so that families will get poor and will have to work. Dr. Laitman, I don't think that this is how things are going to be. It all depends on how it's all going to be built. If society gradually, in the same pace as now, will gradually deteriorate, then there's no problem to rebuild things. The only problem is leadership, the governments. That, for the sake of staying in power, will bring the government to complete exhaustion. That's the problem. Simeon, so it's not a problem to rebuild what, so people won't be hungry? Dr. Laitman, of course, to rebuild society, different kinds of communication, industry. Simeon, so there's no need for big problems, for children to be under compulsory work. Dr. Laitman, consciously not to do this.
Мы такого не видели при рождении советского.
Things that are going to happen, Simeon, there was hunger in the past. Dr. Laitman, like in the formation of the USSR, for example.
Ладно. То есть, ладно, все, мы тут разберемся. Дальше. Вот давайте еще цитату разберем маленькую. Вот цитата матери цитата.
A mother of four says, it went viral on the net. She says, if the coronavirus won't kill us, then distance learning will. Why? Because 1.5 billion children, their schools were closed or will be closed. Almost 50% of them have no access to computers. 43% don't even have internet. And in third world countries, 80% can't be engaged in distant learning. So, as a result, what are we headed toward? There will be a sector of children that will get no education. Dr. Laitman, probably we will go through a very serious phase where we will be obliged to get this right. Simeon, and how to care for those children that have no access to it. Dr. Laitman, there will be one computer for 10 families, doesn't matter, but still, gradually, this is what's going to happen. Simeon, so one way or another, it's the future. Dr. Laitman, undoubtedly, people have to get used to virtual education. All the more in Africa or in some other place, where you have no idea who's the teacher, how does he teach them. It has to be a very clear system that brings people to unity. Simeon, so that's that virtual network. Dr. Laitman, yes, where every child in every country, in accordance with the general program, will start studying what everyone studies all around the world. Do you can you imagine what this will lead to? People will start understanding each other.
будут духовно связаны друг с другом.
People will be spiritually connected with each other. Simeon, that's beautiful. If that were possible, Dr. Laitman, the virus will do this. Simeon, so this system, this one system, educational system, will bring everyone together, unite people. As a result, maybe we'll even have like one language, so to speak. Dr. Laitman, yes? Eventually, yes, but it's not that important. Simeon, so it's not that African children should have one mentality, others should have another mentality. Dr. Laitman, practically, this no longer exists today. It was broken a long time ago. Simeon, so this virtual global program will be directed at Dr. Laitman, consolidating, uniting, bring together people emotionally, intellectually, in everything, in all subjects. You understand? Everyone will study the same. There will be one worldwide exam. Simeon, and no one's going to be afraid. We'll have no anxiety before it. Dr. Laitman, right, it will be a worldwide exam for everyone.
Это новый уровень.
It's a new level. Simeon, so after what you said, we have to see how can children get a computer, those that don't. This is what leaders have to be concerned with. Dr. Laitman, and if 10 kids have one computer, why not? Simeon, yeah, laptops, computers are being thrown away just because they're old, a bit old. So it's not a problem. The only problem is that there's no educational program, the type that you're talking about. Dr. Laitman, there is such a program. There will be computers everywhere, and we'll start studying. We'll start studying. Simeon, there has to be a consent in order to make this happen. But still, the main role of this program is to bring everyone together. Dr. Laitman, they have to start absorbing it through all sciences, examples, through everything, that the world is a single force, that it's all one system. Simeon, you have more hope for children than adults. Dr. Laitman, no. I think that it's more complicated for grown-ups. Simeon, but the same program will apply to grown-ups too. Dr. Laitman, yeah. Simeon, so it's important for everyone to have access to this and so on. Okay.
Дальше. Давайте эту тему, я все время ее избегаю.
Okay.
Понятно, что мы сейчас будем возвращаться.
It's clear that... one more thing.
Вот эта пандемия...
The pandemic
новый, бурный...
caused a new surge in anti-Semitism. Dr. Laitman, and what? Simeon, so Jews are disliked more and more. And, there's a new circulation of, in short, the coronavirus brings lots of different theories, conspiracies about how Jews are trying to control the world, that they brought the coronavirus. And, there's also something called COVID-48. That's the year that the State of Israel was established, that's the most dangerous virus, and that the IDF is infecting Palestinians on purpose. And in the U.S., Jews are being accused that they prepared the police officers that treat the African Americans the way that they do, and that Jewish organizations, they don't resist it. To the contrary, they say, we agree with the battle that's going on in the United States now. They'll keep them till then. Dr. Laitman, they'll say, okay, you're left last, now you go. And this is how it's going to be till the end of correction. Dr. Simeon, so we'll be beaten up all the time, Jews, meaning Dr. Laitman. Obviously, if we're not bringing correction into the world, then the world's turning to us and is demanding this correction only in the way that they demand it. Simeon, but a simple Jew has no idea that he is here in order to bring correction. Dr. Laitman, it doesn't matter. It's like in the Middle Ages, Second World War, it doesn't matter when and how. A Jew can always say, I didn't know, and he really doesn't know. What do you want? But really, no one is expecting any words of them. They're simply taken by the neck and thrown into ovens. Simeon, thrown into ovens? That's harsh. Dr. Laitman, how else was it done? Simeon, what do we have to understand from this? Dr. Laitman, we have to understand that unless we actively correct our world, the connection between all people, and we arrange this kind of motion, we create, the world starts treating us negatively, and as a result, we'll feel trouble. Simeon, we have to be the pioneers. Dr. Laitman, of course, no one else can do that. This is our work. This is what we have to do. And if we don't do it, then we're offered to do another kind of work. Simeon, so Jews are in this world only in order to do this, not for progress, not for Nobel Prizes. Dr. Laitman, no, these are only side effects that irritate people. There's nothing that you can do. And you need to do anything. Everything that's in the world, they invented. Everything existing in the world, they invented. And it didn't give the world anything good. Better to live in caves. Simeon, so you're not calling upon the world to force Jews to Dr. Laitman, I'm not calling upon anyone to do anything. I'm saying that one way or another, unless Jews will start working on the good connection between everyone, things are going to be bad. Simeon, not only between themselves. Dr. Laitman, no. Simeon, between Jews in order to bring it to the world as an example. Can we say that? Dr. Laitman, well, suppose, for beginners. Simeon, but the main idea is that we exist in order to unite the world. Dr. Laitman, so that the world would unite. In order for the world to unite and become as one, for this, there's a group in the world, in different corners of the world. And these people have to very clearly participate in uniting humanity, the Jews meaning. This is something that you can't run from, Simeon, and this will always be, Dr. Laitman, not always. I hope that soon this will all come to an end. Meaning that either we'll be pushed to do it forcefully or will be respected for doing it. Simeon, so Jews have to understand that this is their role and they're pushed to do it. You think that it's possible that they'll come to that? Dr. Laitman, there is hope, even more than before, that they'll understand this in good ways. Simeon, and then everything will turn. Dr. Laitman, yeah. Simeon, our enemies will become our friends. Dr. Laitman, immediately they will understand why they hate Jews, and they'll say, we were right for hating you, because you didn't carry out your role. And now, of course, we love you. Simeon, so you think that those that really hate Jews, they're the closest to flip. Dr. Laitman, exactly. Simeon, and they have this inner direction because they hate Jews because they're relating to Jews as friends that are not carrying out their role. And those around us that want to destroy us, Dr. Laitman, you're talking about Arabs are our cousins, they'll be the closest to us.
Совсем не... Кто такой человек?
What is man altogether, you know?
Чего он дергается?
What is he jumping around for?
Сверху маленькое изменение
A small change from above.
второстепенной функции, и он становится на задние лапки, готов делать все.
And, you know, a person is willing to do anything.
Закончим эту тему. Скажите,
Simeon, just to summarize the topic.
Подводящий итог,
Dr. Laitman,
все ненавистники
all those that hate Jews will actually become lovers, those that will help, friends, supporters,
в выполнении указаний
and bring humanity to unification, realizing the orders, the direction that will come from Jews, from the Jewish people.
кому-то.
Dr. Laitman, and
ладно.
why do we have to leave this for someone else to do this, our work? And I'll tell you furthermore, if you don't add this last sentence that under the direction of the Jewish people that will lead how to unite people, it means that you really don't understand your role. And if you add that, then people will understand that you understand the whole picture, your destiny, and you can lead. Simeon, I leave it, but I read the commentaries, and then Dr. Laitman, commentaries, I don't mind them. I never read them. Simeon, I do. I need them. I need them because, first of all, I have to understand what works, what catches people. It's important to study this. You don't have to read it.
Это не критический комментарий, я не об этом говорю. Не...
It's not something critical. It's, it's not... Dr. Laitman, what do you want from people, really?
Машинки.
Little machines, egoistic,
По-другому реакции быть не может.
that can't respond in any other way. Can't respond in any other way.
Потому что это очень интересно. Процесс.
Then why read it, Simeon? It's very important because I see the process that people are going through. Those that were really completely against what they're writing now. I'll show you ones how they're not leaving. They're saying, "That's it. I'm closing it. I'm closing the computer. I can't listen to you anymore." And they come back, and I see what they're writing now. It's really interesting. Suddenly, a person starts thinking this, that. I really see how that virus permeates people. It's a very interesting process of how people are changing. By the way, this is also what cinema is about, how you go through the dramatic states that you take a person through, and he doesn't leave even though that he feels like it. He stays.
Ненависть — это очень сильная.
Dr. Laitman, yeah, hate is a very powerful force. Simeon, at first it's very